multimillionaire. He's one of the best. He is one of the best people in this industry. And I met him at a seminar and I asked him, I said, what is the secret to getting to your level? And what he told me is he said, never take advice from people that never take advice from people that you would basically never take advice from people that you don't have the results that you would want. Okay. And he said, never quit. So no matter what happens, he's like, I never want you to quit. And it really resonated with me because there has been a lot of times in this industry, and I'm sure a lot of you have, is you feel like you want to quit when things get hard. We've all been there. We've all been in that place where, things aren't going our way, people are telling us no, people are telling us it's not going to work out, and I'm not here to sugarcoat things. It gets hard. We all go through it. We all go through that stuff. But at the end of the day, if you put in the work, the results will come. Okay, guys? And I think there's a lot of people in here, including me, that can attest to that. Okay? And if you never quit, 3 years, 5 years from now, you're gonna look back and you'd be like, dang, I'm glad I didn't quit. I'm glad I stuck this out. Okay, so I want to go through basically step by step how I won the promo, how my experience has been in this industry the past almost 5 years now, which is absolutely insane. And I will honestly say that iGenius is one of the best companies, is the best companies that I've ever been a part of. And guys, we are just at the beginning of this. There's just so much energy with this team and with the people, and there's so many amazing leaders in here, and we all just want you to win. We want you to be successful. That's all Josh and Jay have ever wanted for me. That's all I've ever wanted for you guys. So I guess to break it down is, there's people who talk about it and there's people that do it. So you can go out and say, hey, I'm going to go make all this money, and you can set goals, and all that is great. Okay. All that is wonderful. Like, I wake up every morning and I write down my goals. Okay. I study people that have what I want in life, just like Alex Morton, just like a Zig Ziglar, a Tony Robbins. I study people that I want to emulate, and then I copy them. Okay. I'm still myself, but I copy their good habits because they have the results that I want in life. Okay. So there's certain people that are going to talk about it. They just talk about what they're going to do. They talk about how they're going to hit an X6 and an X12. They're going to make this amount of money. I'm going to be a millionaire. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that. But at the end of the day, the people that get the results are the people who shut their mouth, put their head down, and put in the work. Because you can talk until you're blue in the face. And I've seen it so much in this industry, and I'm not knocking anyone because I think it's great to have that. But it's funny to me because when it's time to put in the work, everybody runs with their tail behind their legs and goes and hides somewhere. And I don't. If I say I'm going to do something, or I have a thought in my mind, or I have a number of amount of money I want to attain, if I have a house I want to go get, a car I want to go get, I just shut up and I go get it. I shut my mouth and I go get it. And that's what I want. That's what I want for you guys. Okay? I want you to write down every morning what you want. And then I just want you to take a moment of silence and reflect on it. And then I want you to do everything in your power to go get it. Because there's talkers and then there's doers. And the talkers don't change anything, but the doers eventually will change the world. Okay? They eventually will change the world. And the talkers will be still talking about how they wanted to, or how someday, they always say there's 7 days in a week, but guess what? Someday ain't one of them. Okay? Someday is not a day. So you're either going to make the decision to do it today and you're going to do it, or you're not. Those are your options in life. And there's so many people that wish they would have a better life. They wish they had better relationships. They wish they had more money. Instead of saying, hey, maybe I should look in the mirror. Maybe I should reflect on my life and stop pointing the finger at her and him and, my boss and my upline and my business partners, and it's their fault. And well, I'd be successful if the comp plan paid more, and this and that and that. And at the end of the day, it's just another excuse. You're just adding to the list of excuses. Instead of saying, I'm not going to make excuses, I'm going to work 16-hour days. And then after I'm working a 16-hour day, I'm going to go hit the gym for 2 hours. And then after I hit the gym for 2 hours, I'm going to prospect for an hour, and then I'm going to go to bed. Or I'm going to trade for an hour, and then I'm going to go to bed. Instead of saying, well, I got this, and I have kids, and I have this mortgage due, and I have bills. Look, we all do. We all have obstacles in life. Instead of complaining about them, what are you going to do about it? And I don't have kids yet, but I know that when I do have kids, I want them to know that their father, their mother went out and did whatever it took, despite the obstacles they had in front of them. And that's how you teach them. That's how you teach people, by action, not by talking. You show people by your actions. You show your worth by your actions. You prove the person that you are by your actions. That is how you prove yourself. That is how you make a difference. That is how you impact people's lives. That's how you change people's lives, by massive action. Knowing that no matter what comes my way, death, breakups, deaths in the family, hard things, very hard things to go through. No matter what you go through, you never give up, because you made a promise to yourself, your family, your friends, whoever may it be, that you're not going to give up. And if you keep that promise, the world is yours. The world is yours. But I know for me that even in the darkest times, even with the nights where I was crying myself to sleep because I could barely pay my mortgage, where I was crying myself to sleep because I didn't know if this was going to work. But guess what? I still woke up every day and I still put in the work. No matter how I felt, no matter if I was sore, no matter if I was tired, I was hurt, I was having a bad day. People were telling me it's not going to work. It's just one of them pyramid schemes. No matter what anybody told me, I still woke up at 3:30 every morning and didn't go to bed till 11 or midnight. And I'm not here to scare you guys. I'm just telling you the truth. The results speak for themselves. And if you put in the work, you'll get the results. That is a fact. And that's what I want for all of you. I want you to want this more than you want to breathe, because I know that the outcome can give you a life that most people will never have. Okay? There's a quote. It says, if you're willing to do what others are not willing to do, then you will live a life that they will never live. I will say it again. If you are willing to do what others are not willing to do, then one day you will live a life that they will never live. And so I want to break down exactly what I did. And for me, it wasn't that hard. It was just consistency. It was hard at first, but then once I figured it out, it was consistency. Okay? So every morning I woke up, I wrote down my goals. I wrote down how much I wanted to be making a month. I wrote down what my life would look in 3 to 5 years. I wrote down first thoughts in the morning where how I wanted my day to go. I wrote down, my monthly goals, my weekly goals, and I wrote it down. First thing I did every morning during this promo is I got up and I wrote down where I wanted to go in life, what I wanted in life. And then what I did is I made this rule up. Okay, well, I learned this rule from my mentors, Josh and Jay, but they always say message 5 to 10 people a day, okay? Or sometimes they'll say, if you're new and you're not quite comfortable with doing that, message 5 to 10 people a week, right? But I'm here to tell you, if you want results, that what I did is I came up with the 777 rule. And guys, if I would get out a notepad and paper and I'd be writing this down if you want any success in this business, because it's worked for me. So if you do this, it's going to work for you. Okay? But it's called the 777, 777. Okay? And what I did is I messaged 7 people every morning. 7 people. Okay? And then I waited all day. Okay? And then the next day, I would follow up with them. I'd start a conversation with them. Now, let's say I messaged those 7 people and only 5 replied and 2 left me on red, then I'd message 2 more to keep it at 7. And I did this for a week. So 7 days, 7 messages a day, okay? And then I'd follow up with those 7 people. Okay? So you would message 7 people a day. The next day you'd follow up with 7 people. The next day you'd message 7 people. The next day you'd follow up with 7 people. And I did this for a month straight. Okay? And I'm not sure exactly the number of personals I put in, but I believe it was around 10, which isn't bad with those numbers. Okay? It was around 10 to 15, somewhere around there. Okay? But I did that for a month, okay? Instead of saying, well, I'm just going to message, 5 to 10. That's cool. And that still works. I'm not saying that doesn't work. It still works. But I was like, no, I need a number. I need a number and I need to stick to it. And I need to do this as fast as possible if I want to win this promo. Because in my mind, I'm like, I can't lose. I have to win this promo. Nobody's going to beat me. I have to do it. So what I did is I created my own system and I called it the 777, and I did it every day. Every day I messaged 7, first thing 3:30, wrote down my goals, then I messaged 7 people. I put my phone away, get ready, go to work, whatever. That's what I did. Okay? And for the people saying that, oh, I can't build this business, I work full time, I got kids, I got this, I got that. Listen, yes, you can. Ryan and I are working 60 hours a week right now, and we're still crushing this business. We're still getting our trades in. We're still going to events on the weekends, meeting people, prospecting. We're still doing the work after working 60 hours a week, busting our asses. So if we can do it, you can do it. I'm not that special, guys. I'm just a regular dude from a small town, but I got big dreams and I got a massive work ethic. And I don't quit. You can't get me to quit. It's never going to happen. So that's what I did for a month straight. And I've met people all around the world in this industry. I've seen all walks of life. Okay? And I'm telling you that you can go out and create a legacy. You can go out and do this. despite any situation. Some of you might not be in the best situation right now. I know a lot of people on this team, they spent their last dollar to get started, just hoping praying it's going to work out. Well, I'm here to tell you that if you put in the work and you stay disciplined, it will work out. Will it happen overnight? No, it won't. But eventually it will happen. And what you do is you start winning, and then you stack little wins on top of little wins and top of little wins, and then they make up and they make big wins. And eventually you make big wins. Okay? And if you're trading right now, listen, it's not about making all this money right away. Now, can it happen? Yeah, I've seen people do some crazy stuff when just starting out trading, okay? I've seen it. People make hundreds of thousands of dollars their first year of trading. I've seen it. But I'm saying for me, it took me a while to learn. It took me a while to find my groove and my strategy and what worked for me and what didn't, okay? So when you're trading, guys, what you want to focus on is small wins. Small wins. Okay? Like I remember I used to get excited when my trading account went up, 300 to 500 in a month. I get like excited, you know? And now when I trade, I'm clearing 3 to 5 grand, sometimes 10K a trade. Like that's insane to me. Like I didn't even know, as growing up in a blue collar family, right? I didn't even know that kind of money existed. I didn't even know you could make that money off of your phone. Like that didn't even make sense to me. So I'm telling you that if I can do it, you can do it. And so it's about building those small wins. Like, hey man, you cleared 300, man, post that in the chat. Some people clear $5 and posted it in the chat. And you know what? I'm like, heck yeah, that's a win. That's a win. It doesn't matter if it's $5 or $50,000. It's still a win. A win's a win. So take your wins, guys, and don't compare yourself to other people, okay? That's a downfall of success. I stopped comparing myself to other people. And you know what I did is I just watched the people that I wanted to be like, and then I copied their work ethic, and then I copied the way they moved, the way they did things, okay? And then I stayed myself, though. I didn't like change into them or whatever. Like I'm still me, right? I'm still me. But what I did is I studied them. I studied how they moved, how they talked. Alex Morton snaps with his fingers. So do I. When I talk, when I present, I snap. Gets people's attention. Hey, look at me. I'm speaking. Okay? All the successful people have different mannerisms, different things that they do. And if you copy them and you emulate them, eventually you will get what they have. Eventually you will get it. Just like this system. If you follow the system that we teach you, eventually you'll become successful at it. Okay? It takes 10,000 hours to become an expert. 10,000 hours. They say success, going fast. Okay? Fast is fun, slow is painful. That's what we say. We always say that. Fast is fun, slow is painful. So the quicker you get those 10,000 hours in, the less painful it's going to be. Yes, Cade. Success loves speed. Exactly. Success does love speed. So if you want to make excuses and go slow, it's going to be painful. I'm just being honest. But if you want to cut out the excuses and say, no matter what, I'm going to go hit 10K a month. I'm going to go hit 25K a month. I'm going to get funded. I'm going to fund my trading account. I'm going to grow it this much, this day, write it down, have a plan, and then execute. Your life can totally change in a year. You look in the mirror and you're like, I don't even recognize this person. And when I have downtime, guys, I'm just being honest with you. When I have downtime, I'm not playing video games or watching Netflix. I'm doing self-development. I'm studying the charts. Like I'm not sitting around just like, oh dude, let's play some Call of Duty. Like that's fine if you want to be broke. But if you want to be wealthy, you're going to have to put that time in to develop those skills. Okay? Look, I'm all for it. Like I love hockey, I love football. I'm all for watching the game. But sometimes it's like, why am I watching these guys go make millions of dollars when I could be working and working towards millions of dollars for myself and then go travel the world and do what I want and then get box seats to the game and chill with all my buddies because we sacrificed our time. And while everybody else made excuses, they're still watching it from the couch, and I'm in the box seats. They're in the nosebleeds. I'm in the floor seats. Sometimes you got to sacrifice, and it's not going to feel good. It's not supposed to be comfortable. It's very uncomfortable. I remember when, Josh and Jay were telling me, like, bro, you got to read 10 pages a day, man. Like, I telling them, like, well, I studied charts. They're like, how long? Well, I was on there for like 10 minutes. They're like, bro, it ain't going to cut it, man. It ain't going to cut it. You say you want this so bad, but your results don't show that you really want it. So what's it going to be? You said you wanted to run with us. You said you wanted to be one of our top leaders. You said you wanted it. So are you going to prove it or just talk about it? And one day I looked in the mirror and I said, I need to sacrifice some things. I need to change. I need to eat healthier. I need to exercise more. I need to take the dog for more walks. I got to hit the weight room more. Maybe I got to put in some more hours. Maybe I got to stop eating so much fast food. And I'm not saying that I still don't do that stuff because I do. I'm human. But I cut it out. I cut a lot of it out because I'm focused. And now I have a team that is counting on me to be a leader, counting on me to coach them, counting on me to be there for them. I have to be there. I have to show up. No more chicken wings. I don't know, man. That'd be a hard one to give up. Chicken wings are my fave. But sometimes you got to sacrifice things. And it's not going to feel good. It's going to be uncomfortable. Trust me. Like, when you change your life and you make that decision, it's not like it's going to be like, oh, sunshine and rainbows. Like dude, the first month is going to suck. Your daily habits, when you switch them up, I remember like I would set my alarm earlier and earlier and earlier every month for like 90 days. I'd just set my alarm earlier and earlier because I knew I needed more time in the day. And it sucked. I would wake up and I'd be like, oh my gosh, like I don't even want to get out of bed. But as soon as I got up and I started writing down my goals, it did something to me. I'd turn on Alex Morton, or I'd turn on Tony Robbins, or I'd turn on Matt Morris right away in the morning. And then I'd write down my goals and it set me up for success for the day because I got my mind right. So I hope you got some value from that. I love you guys. I want to crush it with you. If you need anything, please reach out to me. I'm here for you. Whatever you need, we can get on one-on-one calls, FaceTime, whatever. I'm down. I just want you to be successful, and I want you to put in the work, and I want you to know that it's a 3 to 5 year for financial freedom, okay? But if you do the 3 to 5 year plan, it's going to happen. Going to happen for you, all right? Some people do it faster, some people do it slower, but it's up to you. Like I could literally write down on a napkin with my pen on a napkin how to hit 100K in 90 days. I could show you step by step, but guess what? I can't put in the work for you. Okay? I love y'all. I'm going to pass it to Marissa. Marissa is an amazing leader. She's always there for everyone. Like she's got a huge heart. She wants people to win, and she just pours into her team like I've never seen. So I'm going to hand it to Marissa and I'm going to let her rip. So let's get it, guys.
Thank you, Brandon. That was awesome. That was seriously so much value. Can I get some ones in the chat for Brandon? That was amazing. Oh my gosh, you fired me up, and that was hard to do coming back from this weekend down in Florida. That was really amazing. Brandon, you're awesome. I love how much value and support and how much you pour into our community, and that's just super powerful, especially those steps and those guidelines. And I pulled a lot of value out of everything that you said. I was over here taking notes. And one thing that I thought was really, really cool this past weekend in Florida was Noble Mike. He was the host of the event this weekend, and he picked out little things of what the speakers were saying, and he elaborated on them and reframed them. And I'm going to do some of that, but I'm also going to break down a few more things that Brandon was talking about. So, the one thing I wanted to lead this off after that much value is something that kept coming up with Brandon was like the massive action to overcome things. And one thing that I heard this weekend was people use the future as an excuse to waste today. And that was a very powerful shift for me because sometimes I found myself finding like, well, eventually I'll do this. Well, maybe someday when this happens, I'll do this. But people tend to use the future as an excuse to waste today. And taking that massive action and knowing those steps to move forward and take that action requires a lot of your energy to go and do it. And you have to stop using the future as an excuse to waste today and not put in the work today and take that massive action and not giving up and just showing up, which was super, super cool. So I just thought that that was something I felt called to share. I'm going to just speak from the heart tonight because honestly, I don't know if you guys knew about this, but we had an event down in Florida this past weekend. Anthony Napolitano, he hosted North X South 4, and it was all the top leaders, corporate, everything, sharing so much value in a very intimate kind of gathering of just leadership pouring into us. And it was major, major value. And there was so many things that I would love to share all of you guys, but I do not have 3 days to sit here and talk. However, I would love to do that. So I'm gonna break everything down as best that I can to give you guys that value too, because the power of being in those events is you take out so much information and knowledge and you have so many breakthroughs to take the next step in business and show up for yourself just so much more, so much better. And yeah, so I wrote down some notes here from Brandon. So massive action to overcome things and taking action sometimes can feel a little scary. You know the right things to do, but when it comes to it, your thoughts might stop you. Like you're very nervous to move forward in the next step. And one thing they really, really hit on this weekend was fear. And I'm gonna look up here in my notes today, but I believe they broke down fear is the um, hold on. Fear is false evidence appearing real. When you get in your thoughts, in your brain, in your mind, and you let those thoughts come to you, it can start creating false evidence of something being true. And I can only relate this to like either taking a trade or reaching out to people where before you're about to take that action, you have these thoughts that are building up in you. Well, what if this happens? What if this happens? This. Your mind is racing and running. And this game is all about mastering your mind, controlling your thoughts, and pushing through the fear because what's on the other side of fear is everything you imagine, you want, you desire. And the only thing that's waiting for you is to push through that fear, taking massive action and moving forward. And I wanted to share that with you guys because fear is one thing that comes up for a lot of us. It's the thoughts that we have, the cycles that we go through. Um, all of those things that just lead us down different rabbit holes because we can talk ourselves out of making a decision, but usually we never talk ourselves into making a decision that's going to benefit us for the long term. And I'd encourage you guys to start recognizing when fear comes up because that usually is something that means there's something better waiting for you on the other side. I know I'm going to tell you guys a story. So, with this Florida event, I started feeling a lot of fear. I tried to make the decision to go all in on it back in January when I first found out about it. And I started feeling fear and I never went all in on that decision. And about a month ago is when I started feeling the urge to go to this event, that I was being called to go to this event because I knew it was going to give me some sort of value. And I started feeling that fear again when I looked into planning it. And this time I recognized that that fear that was stopping me from booking the trip and making it and going and setting up like a whole thing to go and be there was that I knew I was fearful of what was going to come after the event because I knew what was waiting on the other side of it was so much growth, life-changing things, and pushing through that fear to just book the trip, to go on it, to show up and make every excuse become non-existent and to make and do everything possible to get there. And that was the biggest thing that I pushed through for fear. And now I feel like I can keep going and doing more of the scary things because I built that belief in myself from following through and pushing through the fear and seeing what's on the other side. And that was just a huge, huge shift on fear. And I just wanted to share that with you guys because even on our day-to-day basis and the daily actions that we want to take, sometimes we can feel very fearful and talk ourselves out of doing it. Well, I don't want to talk to that person. I don't want to message that person. They might not reach back out to me. They're going to think this, this, this. You start going down that cycle. But when you stop and you push through it and you take action, 99% of those fears and those thoughts you have will never come true. And that was huge for me because we talk ourselves out of very real situations in our mind that might not ever become real situations in real life. Does that make sense to you guys? Because that was just wild. Never giving up. One thing that Brandon kept saying is just don't give up. He shows up for work. He wakes up every day at 3:30 in the morning. He doesn't give up. He sets an intention for the day. And a confused mind does nothing. And you have to know what you want and own it and go all in on what you want and your desires to become the best version of you. And one thing is when you're in this business, you have to be a visionary. You have to understand where you're going in order to make your actions today. Because if you know where you're going and you can see the future, you know exactly how to show up today. And you need to just continue visualizing and seeing the future and setting those intentions for each day. Like, what do I need to go out and do today to get me just an inch closer to my goals, to get me just a little bit closer to becoming that person that I envision myself being and visualizing it. And one thing that was a huge, huge breakthrough for me was staying consistent and staying committed. Because when you are consistent, and you are committed, you are building trust and belief in yourself that you can do this, but you are also doing it and setting an example for those around you who are you are sharing this with. Because consistency is exactly how you create the the okay, what is the word? Credibility. Credibility. Consistency is what creates the credibility in you in this business, in your mind, in you and yourself, and how you follow through with the goals. Because every single day we make promises to ourselves on what we are going to do tomorrow, but it's our future version of us that we have to show up for the version we are today to keep following through and moving ourselves closer. No, that's kind of a whirlwind of things that you need to do, but yesterday I made a promise for myself today to navigate through every single thing that I pulled out from Florida this weekend because it was a lot. It's a lot of life-changing things. But today I was able to emotionally go through all of the things and show up for my past self because our future self is relying on the actions that we take today in order for us to become that version of us in the future. I hope that makes sense to you guys because it is a process. We are becoming the best version of us. There's steps that we need to take, and it all starts with who you are today, the actions you take today, and how you move forward with it. Another thing that Brandon kept bringing up was eventually, and that leads into the consistency aspect of things is knowing where you are going, putting in the work today, having the vision and the belief on where you're going and knowing that it's possible for you, showing up every single day and knowing that eventually with consistency, with time, with belief in yourself, with massive action, that eventually one day you will get there because what's the worst that's going to happen? It just takes you a little longer. You just keep going and going and going and going. And there's a thing that we watched, a video we watched this weekend. Josh had brought it up after that, and it was by Art Williams. He's an incredible speaker and guide. If you haven't seen him, I would recommend looking into his videos because that was huge. And he said, you just do it. Just do it and do it and do it and do it. And what does that mean? Well, I'll give like real life examples here. For me, when I wake up in the morning, sometimes I don't want to wake up and go and get out of bed, but you just got to do it because even if you're tired, you just got to get up and do it. No one else is going to do it for you. And like you just got to go and go and go and do it and do it and not think. Just eliminate those thoughts. You got to just take the action and pour that belief into you that you are possible and that the worst that's going to happen is you're going to end up exactly where you are right now. But thoughts don't create your success. Action creates your success. And once you start understanding that you can't create the legacy you want just with your thoughts, you have to take that and put it into action and start showing up for that every single day. And you have to pour that belief into yourself. You have this community where every single one of us is wanting to pour that belief into you because sometimes we believe in you harder than you believe in yourself. And I know that's one thing I've experienced firsthand. And leaning into that and believing in yourself, and if you don't, reaching out to someone who will believe in you and get you back up to that level so you can start putting in that massive action and becoming that person because you know who you are. You might have forgotten for a while with all the distractions going on, but you are finding your way back to who you are, what you dream, what you want to create. It's a process of getting back to who you are, why you were placed here on this earth and the impact you are looking to connect. And it's a whole journey of getting there through action, through visions, through goal setting, through intentions, through everything as a whole. It feels like your world gets flipped upside down sometimes, but you know you just have to keep going because it's going to lead you somewhere that is more in alignment than what your current reality is today. And that just came out of nowhere, guys. I'm sorry. I'm really preaching out here. Okay. So the if you give up things for the short term, you will have more of it in the long term. Okay, so Brandon was talking about sometimes you have to give up these things like Xbox, fast food, all these things that distract us from what we actually want. And if you give up those things in the short term, you will have an abundance of it in the future. And what I mean by that is you have to sacrifice some things in order to allow yourself that space to figure out who you are, to figure out what you need to do, to put in the time and energy it takes to create the foundation that you need in order to go out and achieve your success. And once you go out and achieve your success, there's levels to it and you start adding in those things you truly desire. And maybe you'll realize that those things that you once loved and couldn't live without don't fit into your reality in the future, but they just got 10 times bigger. Like maybe you like going out for a weekend or a day and going to eat at a restaurant like every weekend. Well, what if you stopped doing that and you were able to go take a week-long trip and go on a food expedition and go and try all these unique exotic foods? Well, I bet that's going to be a lot more memorable than the one time you ate out on that one weekend over and over because you're going and creating an experience and things can get better as long as you can visualize it, you can see it, and you can go out and create it. But doing that means you have to give up things in the short term and sacrifice it in order to allow yourself that space and time to move forward and become that person because you cannot become that person overnight. A lot of the times most people get into this type of an industry regardless of if it's trading or network marketing where people feel like the success is going to come overnight. And I got caught up in that, like who's not to? You see everyone else having these results, and comparison is the thief of joy. You cannot enjoy your journey when you are looking to others and seeing their success and comparing it to where you're at. I always hear everyone talk about you cannot compare your chapter 1 to someone else's chapter 20. And even so, they are in their chapter 20, but they're still working on things that are bigger and better. What you have to understand is this journey does not stop. Once you start, there's no going back. Once you know something, you can't unlearn it. And once you keep going and keep moving and keep pushing, your life starts to look different. You start to feel different. You start to be happy because now you're making decisions for you, what's in alignment for you, and you're going out and you're creating exactly who you want to be. But you cannot do that from a place of who you were before, and you cannot do that from a place of comparison because you are unique. You are your own individual person, and that is amazing. That is the best thing that you have to you, is because you're unique. You think different. You bring so much extra value to every person's life around you, and it's time for you to own who you are and believe in yourself and go out and create exactly what you want to create, even if it looks different than everyone else, even if it's not exactly what you thought it was going to be in the beginning. Like, guys, look, I got into this journey of entrepreneurship because I wanted to balance my hormones. Now I'm here. You know, you take one step in the direction and you just keep going. You just keep going. And it's okay that it shifts. It's okay that it's different. It's your journey. Fall in love with your journey, the daily steps that you have to take to building your future. Fall in love with who you are, fall in love with the life you have, and be excited for what you're about to create. Because if you go through life and you don't have excitement of what you're looking to create, and you don't have your why right in front of you, it can be so easy to make those excuses and fall into the fear trap and to really just get caught up in the day to day life that doesn't matter for your future self. Your future self is not going to remember what you were stressing about at 2 o'clock in the morning this morning. They're not going to remember exactly how you feel now. If you think back 2 years ago, what was your biggest stress on today's date 2 years ago? You don't remember. You just push past it because you know in the future it does not matter. And you keep going, you just do it, you take the massive action. If you don't feel that in you, you connect with someone who can help bring you back and inspire you to go out and be the person you were meant to be and create the impact you were here to create. And so, honestly, guys, with that, I really don't have much else to share because that was it. You know, just go out and do it. You know exactly what you need to do. You know exactly what you're feeling in this moment, in every single moment, and that's unique to you. Own it, show up for yourself, become the person who is deserving of your goals and show up for that version of you every single day. Have unshakable belief in yourself that it's possible for you to go out and create that and continue going. All right, guys. Well, oh, yes, yes, I think you should do that. Yeah. So Josh is going to share the video with you guys that kind of sparked this whole inspiration of Art Williams. So I'm gonna let him do that and then we'll be finishing out that call after it. But I think you guys really need to stick around and listen to this. So yeah, Josh, go ahead.
I believe desire and will to win is everything. I don't know why I'm like I am, but my butt's always burning. There's always something say, Art, dadgummit, you're supposed to go for it. Art, dadgummit, you're supposed to be somebody. You're supposed to make a difference with your life. What does the $500,000 a year person do? The $50,000 a year person doesn't do. You look at the outside and study those two individuals, everything seems to be the same. They both are the same sex, they both are the same age, they have the same training, the same positions, the same contract, the same fringe benefits. They both are successful, they work hard, they're good family people, make tough commitments. But what's the difference? What does the $500,000 a year person do? The $50,000 a year person doesn't do. He pays the price and a little bit more. He works hard and a little bit more. He's loyal to the company and a little bit more. He believes in a little bit more. He makes money and a little bit more. He saves money and a little bit more. If you want to win in these United States, you got to be tough and you can't quit. The last thing I'll talk to you about today in building this winning edge is, folks, if you want to win in business, you got to be a leader. Leadership is everything. You show me anything in these United States that win, I'll show you a leader at work. You show me a successful church, Boy Scout troop, club, football team, business, I'll show you something run by a leader. See, I thought at one time in my life you had to be smart to win. I used to have these smart people that dress so pretty and talk so pretty and use these big words. They just intimidated me. And I said, Art, you can't ever be that good. Why don't you just throw in the towel and go on back and coach football for a living? And I found two things out about smart people. I think it's almost impossible for a smart person to win in business in America today. Because I find smart people spend their whole lifetime figuring things out. They're always trying to figure out an easier way and a quicker way. And another thing I found out about smart people is they just don't get around to doing nothing. And see, somebody like Art Williams, everybody said, well, he can't do it. And somebody like that can't do it. But he does it. See, folks, I want you to know almost everybody in America almost does enough to win. They almost get there. They almost are over the hump. They almost have it going. They almost in everything they do, almost as a way of life to almost everybody in America. But the winners do it. What do? They do whatever it takes to get the job done. They do it and do it and do it and do it and do it until the job gets done. And then they talk about how great it is to be somebody they're proud of. We need leaders in America who can do it. If you want to become somebody, do it. If you want to go in business for yourself, do it. If you want to become financially independent, do it. I hear too much talk in these United States. Everybody can talk a good game. We need people in America who can do it. I go all over this country with A.L. Williams, and I have people say, Art, you can count on me. Wonderful. Just do it. Art, I guarantee you this is my last stop. I'm going to win now. Super duper. Just do it. Art, if I could just have one good month and get the ball going, I know I could make it big. Super. Just do it. Art, if I could just pay off this debt, I could really go. Great. Just do it. Art, if I could just sell my house. Do it. But houses ain't selling. Do it anyway. Art, I'm not making any money. What can I do? You just do it. Do what, Art? You do it and do it and do it. Art, I guarantee I'm going to win this contest. Super duper. Just do it. Art, I'm over the hump now. Watch my smoke. Great. Just do it. Art, I want to make it so bad I can taste it. What I do? You just do it. Art, I'm a vice president now. Can I quit doing it? No. Art, I don't know if I can keep on keeping on. I'm really hurting. What I do? You just do it. Do what, Art? You do it and do it and do it. Art, all my life I wanted to be somebody important. Well, what do it then? Art, I'm going to save money so I don't have to go through this again. Great. Just do it. Art, I don't feel like I've had enough training. What I do? You just do it. Art, my manager don't give me no help. What I do? You just do it. Art, you don't understand. I was Mr. Everything at my former company. You don't mean I have to start off down at the bottom and do it, do you? Yep, you really got to do it. Art, what's the primary difference between winners and losers? The winners do it. They do it and do it and do it and do it until the job gets done. And then they talk about how great it is to finally have achieved something unique, and how glad they are that they didn't quit like everybody else, and how wonderful it is to finally be somebody they're proud of and make a difference with their life. Thank you.
Yeah, guys, so that was the video that was huge for me in terms of the massive action. And no matter what you feel, no matter your situation or what's going on, we all are going through so many different things. And it may be similar, it may be completely different, but we are all going through it. And the one thing that you can do is go out and do exactly what you need to do, and do it and do it and do it, just exactly like what he said. So have that belief in yourself, have that excitement for where you're going, and keep believing, keep moving, keep doing it, keep showing up, and you will eventually have everything that you desire. So yeah, with that, guys, I don't have much else to share here. I just want you to feel inspired and believe in yourself, to keep going and just show up and create your own goals and work towards them every single day. So I hope you guys have a great night. I appreciate you all for jumping on tonight, but let's go out and have an amazing week and let's crush it. All right, guys? Peace out.